All right. Just gonna get comfortable on here for you guys. Let's see. I can turn this like that. Okay, we're going live here shortly. Let me see what else I can do here. Okay. I'm gonna bring this up here to my lap. That way I can monitor both. Give me just a moment while I'm getting set up here. Thank you guys for joining. If you're joining in, decided to switch it up a little bit and go on live at night. Man, this quality could be better. Let's see. Okay, that definitely looks better. All right, so tonight for Renew Your Mind Monday. Actually, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just gonna talk tonight. Put this guy down really quick. Give me just a moment. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on Renew Your Mind Monday. Usually I do it in the morning time, but the morning got away from me. But I did not want to go another Monday without allowing myself to be a blessing to you all on this day. So today I'm going to talk about the power of positive thinking. So when it comes to renew your mind, one thing that is essential is that in itself, you believing what you are thinking. And there was an old saying, I believe it was from Henry Ford. It's really old. It's very popular. And he said, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. The Bible even says, what a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And that's just a spiritual indication that whatever you give your thoughts to, whatever you give your heart to, you become just that. And so that's why I wanted to share with you guys the power of positive thinking. Your whole world can change and the power of positive thinking. And I wanted to share my quick testimony for you. You know, some of you guys have been listening and following the podcast. You are following our current series of Being Real to Be Healed. And that's still going forward. My wife just released a couple of new episodes sharing her personal testimony and what she experienced, what she went through with us losing our son back in December. And it took much prayer and the move of God to get me to where I am today. But nevertheless, it was Him encouraging me to continue to be positive and speak positively over myself during my healing process. It's okay, to not be okay. And I share that with people all the time, and I said that with myself, but now I'm in such a place of peace and new perspective about the situation. God has done a 180 in my life, and He can do the same for you. And I recently stumbled across a book by, I believe it was a Norman Peale that wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. And I just really began to get back into my word even more than I was before. And just coming up with little scriptures, the simple scriptures that we know in our hearts. Like, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. All things work together for good to them that love the Lord, who are called according to His purpose. Romans 8:28. Those different scriptures of Philippians 4 and 13, those different scriptures that you repeat to yourself that have life in them can bring life to you. So whatever your situation is, whatever you're going through, just remember that it starts in the mind. You could be having a tough week right now. what you think is that the first thing you wake up on a Monday morning is, oh my gosh, it's Monday. Well, like I got a long week ahead. Or you can change it to say, you know what, I can't believe it's Monday. I get another opportunity to hit the, put the pedal to the metal and grind out this week. And we are a product of our minds. We are a product of our thoughts. And we succumb to the world around us based on what we think on a daily basis. You think negative, you end up speaking negative, and then what comes to your life is what? Negative. You think positively, you respond positively, and positivity attracts your way. Excuse me. So I wanted to encourage you guys on today to get into that mode. Start to unravel the things in your mind. I put myself to a challenge. I revisited my own MLM program because I saw myself going back to a place where I was feeling, depressed and not caring and getting low. And depression is a serious thing. And for one that will openly admit, like it takes a lot for me to admit that I was in a season of depression, and it was very weighty and it was very hard. So that's the first step is admitting that you're in the season that you're in and knowing that you need help. And I sought help and I received it, and God has showed me how He is God in my life. Like I can't even put into words. And how much He's put in me to be a blessing to develop such a program as the MLM program, and just seeing to change the lives of people, and to even in my own personal life to use my own personal experiences to build the program, and then needing the program again to ensure myself like, okay, I'm not just making this up, this works. And it all comes down to the power of positive thinking. It starts there. If you cannot see yourself or believe in yourself, to think about yourself in a positive light, or not even a positive, but more or better than your current circumstances, then you'll forever be in that cycle, I'll say, of negativity. And we know people, and if this is you, I'm speaking to you. If you feel like you're in a cycle where you wake up, the day is good, and then a couple of days go by, and next thing you know, this bad thing happens. And I start to realize that some people are just kind of drawn to negativity. They're always anticipating, well, this bad thing is going to happen, or this is too good to be true. So let me just prepare myself for when, the stuff hits the fan. And then always, sure enough, the stuff's going to hit the fan. But when you shift your mindset, you start to feel different. You start to walk and talk different. And I'm encouraging this book too because it brought out so many scriptures that you can just speak over yourself. The things that God says about us. And you can just repeat those things, those scriptures, those words, those affirmations, those songs, those proverbs that the words of God says about you over and over yourself, and let that become your life. The word of God was made flesh and dwelt among us. How much more can we live this word? It's called a living word for a reason, because the words that are in that book come to life. Those words lived. Those words when Jesus Christ fulfilled, and those words live in us as Jesus Christ fulfilled in our hearts. And so with your mindset focused on, okay, if I want to be a better believer, I want to grow in my walk, I just want to be a better person altogether. It starts in the mind. And when I started this Renew Your Mind Monday, I just use it because, Renew Your Mind Monday, that kind of flows together. But in actuality, that's the best time to start your week. You just got out of, most Americans get out of church on Sunday morning. They reset on Sunday. They get their time of relaxing, their time of fellowship, praying with God. Then the week starts again on Monday. And some people leave what they had back on that Sunday service. And I'm encouraging you, pick up what you have and keep going. Pick up what you have and just go after what God has for you. Don't leave it on Sunday in the worship service, but pick it up and say, you know what, starting today, this Monday, right now, I'm going to shift my mind. I'm going to shift my week. And I'll even challenge you with the challenge I gave to myself, which was respond positively for 24 hours. That was one of the most difficult things I honestly can say because I like to joke around, I like to play, I'm very sarcastic, and I'm just, that kind of person. And so, some people even say I'm petty at times, playfully and stuff like that. But, even changing my joking habits to be more, encouraging and uplifting just for fun, it can be really challenging, especially if somebody does something crazy, especially being in, customer service industry and constantly responding positively and not responding sarcastically can really, be challenging. I'm just being transparent right now. I'm just being vulnerable for a moment, and honest. But it was such a joy just to, say, okay, I caught myself. Let me reset my mind and let me go forth in speaking, words of encouragement. And I always do that. I'm always optimistic. I always speak a word of encouragement. But to feel it, getting back to a place where you feel it, is truly remarkable. It's truly life changing. So I encourage you guys, if you're watching this, if you're listening, to renew your mind, to get back to where your mind once was. The positive thinking about yourself in a higher capacity, not thinking about, this is it for me, this is where I am, this is who I'm going to be, but actually say, you know what, I can change. And maybe changing myself is better. Maybe thinking differently is better. Maybe being nicer to people, being less sarcastic, holding back that attitude, getting rid of the attitude altogether, getting rid of anger altogether. And I tell you guys, and you guys will hear about it in the Be Real to Be Healed on my podcast, Change the Narrative podcast, available on all platforms. But I got to a point where, I was so hurt by losing my son that I was just angry. I was just mad. And I'll be good one moment, and then I'll just snap. I'll just be rude, just out of anger. And that's inexcusable. And I teach that to my kids. You might be feeling pain, you might be feeling hurt, but that does not excuse how you respond to people, how you treat other people. And again, me just being transparent and honest, if we can't be real, nobody's gonna listen to what you have to say. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Is the saying we hear time and time again. And so me getting to this place I am now is just, life changing. Like I feel a 180 turn. I declare things over, over you. I declare things over your life. Like when you engulf that, part of that, as they call it, the law of attraction, as it were, you just bring these things into your life. These things start to become your lifestyle, just speaking things into existence that be not as though they were. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's Hebrews 11:1. You just got to speak these things. You got to find those 3, 4, 5 scriptures that you're going to speak over yourself day in and day out. I believe this thing. You got to believe this thing. You got to speak that thing over yourself. You got to put it in your heart of hearts that you believe this thing, and it will start to show up in your life. And when those bad thoughts start to happen, when that negativity starts to creep in, you can just say, no, I'm done. I'm not going to let that come in. And if you, accidentally slip up and say a rude comment or respond negatively, stop yourself in that moment. Don't go all the way back to where you were. Fix it right there and say, you know what, I apologize, or I'm going to fix it right here, right now. Because your peace is worth the patience. And I tell you, I'm going to be honest, the first day or two, you're not going to feel it, but you're going to force it. And I'm telling you, everything emotionally is really forced upon us. So we really, like, a thought comes into our mind, like you lost a loved one, somebody was rude to you, somebody said something you didn't like, and you let that thought grow. You force that thought to become bigger than it is. And it did not have to be that big. You can do the same thing with the joy and peace in your life. You can force your thoughts to say, I am happy. I'm having a good day. I believe that today's going to be the best day I've had so far. You might not feel it, but I assure you, if you speak that, there might be bad things that happen. But that 10 or 15 minutes of that unlikely situation is not worth the other 23, 24 hours in that day that you did have peace and have joy. Don't let that one moment take away your whole day. You can conquer it and regain that momentum, regain that peace, regain that joy in that moment. And so I want to encourage you guys on today how important it is to be positive, to think positively about everything that you're doing. And I challenge you for the next 24 hours, next 24 hours, respond positively in your mind, in your thoughts to other people. Respond positively. What does that look like? It means holding your tongue. It means saying a word of encouragement or flipping what you got to say. Like, why'd you do it that way versus, well, here's another way that you could have done it. Or why are you doing that versus, oh, what are you doing? Can you explain? Because we have a habit of just, especially when it comes to our kids, we just snap and say, what are you doing? Or you could just say, hey, what are you doing? What is that? Can you tell me what you're doing? And those little things, try to go a whole day without getting an attitude with somebody, be it your kids, your loved ones, your spouse, your significant other, your family members, that one coworker that's always getting on your nerves. Just show peace and love. Give it 24 hours of forcing the joy and happiness in your life. It's going to be so worth it when you get to the other side. So thank you guys for joining me on Renew Your Mind Monday. Hopefully I shared a word of encouragement. If you're following, if you're listening, please hit that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, All Got Everything LLC, where we can revisit this video or renew your mind with us every single week, and listen to our Change the Narrative podcast, available on all podcasting platforms, especially on Apple and Google Play. Thank you guys, and as always, be encouraged, be blessed, be inspired.